Hi there. I just had a lovely conversation with a client, and like many of us, she was struggling with the conflict, as she saw it, a conflict between anxiety about money, who hasn't been there, and her deeper understanding that one, things have always turned out and probably will in the future. And two, that when she's in anxiety, she can't think clearly, she doesn't create well, she doesn't innovate well, she doesn't network well. In other words, anxiety is a crappy place from which to create money. And that the solution she wanted financially would come from being settled down. And the way she saw it, she had to choose between the anxiety and getting spun up and being at peace and being quiet. And that looked like a choice to her. And I was struck by how that conflict was made up. She knew the anxiety was made up, but she didn't realize that the conflict between her understanding and her anxiety was also made up. That there is no inherent conflict. And the image of a sailboat came to mind. Many years ago, I went sailing, and I have a distinct preference for being upright. And sailboats are tippy. And my husband still teases me about this, and it's been like 40 years. But we went for a sail, and I managed my experience on that sailboat so tightly that when I stood up, my buns were on fire. My butt hurt so bad because I was sitting so hard. I was gripping the seat with my butt for 2 hours. And this was a very mild sail. And what it looked to me like was that my client was managing her experience of anxiety the same way. She was trying to get over it, trying to get past it, trying to see through it. When the understanding that she wanted to experience more of is like the keel of a sailboat. The keel of a sailboat goes deep, deep, deep in the water. And the anxiety is like being in a windstorm, and the sailboat tips way over, but the keel is still deep, deep in the water. That sailboat is not going to get swamped. Worrying about that and gripping doesn't help, because the sailboat will right itself naturally. And the same is true when we get caught up in anxiety or any other difficult experience. If we grip it, worry about it, make a big deal of it, and make a project out of getting over it, we just amplify it. If we can see that it's not a matter of choosing between anxiety on the one hand and conflict and understanding on the other, that the understanding, the truth that a deeper guidance system is always in place, that doesn't go away when we're anxious. It's just obscured. You don't have to choose between anxiety and understanding to come back to understanding. You will always naturally come back to understanding. You will sooner or later naturally come back to a place of insight, resilience, quiet, from which you see solutions. It always has worked that way, and it always will. Let me know what's going on in the comments, and thanks for watching.